Do we need to wait for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You're good, Wayne. Good?
Yep.
Okay. Everyone good?
Yep.
Good? Okay. Ashley Franco, ASHLEYFRANCO, Colorado Springs Fire Department Public Information Officer. We were dispatched this afternoon at about 2:43 to a possible structure fire, kind of here on the east-west town, right? We're on the east side of I-25, but not all the way east, kind of in the Fillmore area. So obviously, we know that a lot of people saw the smoke coming from this fire. We had about 58 calls into dispatch, probably more. Obviously, we're kind of close to I-25. That's going to spark a lot of those calls. This is a very highly traveled area. So we ask the community all the time, if you see something, say something. We say that we live in a community of 500,000 smoke alarms, right? They detect that alarm for us and they call it in. So we had about 58 calls into dispatch alerting us of this fire. Before we got on scene, Engine 6 was in the area. They're pretty close to here and they could see that smoke, so they immediately called a working structure fire. The reason we did that is because what the smoke was showing us, it was very heavy, thick black smoke, and that usually kind of tells us that a structure may be involved. We arrived here at 2:48 to several stacks of styrofoam and other building material on fire in this kind of area in the parking lot back here. It's kind of a storage area for those building materials. We did have kind of an issue getting access to the fire. Everything was fenced in this area, so we did have to go about ensuring that we could get exact access to this fire, make sure that we had a water supply so that we could put water on this fire. We did end up ordering a second alarm due to the amount of fire that we had and the resource needs that we had here on scene. Additionally, that lets us kind of cycle through our firefighters when we are working a significant fire such as this. We are currently stopping operations just to kind of watch the fire behavior. We've got our drone up in the air, detecting those hot spots for us to show us kind of where the fire is, how it's moving, and what we need to do next. I will say that you guys have probably seen it. Our drone has been up the entire time. That is a massive tool for us. It helps us see through that smoke, basically. We can see where the fire is, where it may be spreading, where it may be moving. But I do want to let people know that when we do have our drone up, this is a no drone zone. If we are flying, we do that for safety out of our, safety precaution for our firefighters here. There was another drone up in the air that was kind of following our drone. That is a big no-no for us. No drone zone. We ask that you please do not fly over our scenes. I can tell you that we have the footage. We will likely release that footage if you're curious. We appreciate the curiosity, but we really need to be able to do our jobs, and that means no flying drones in this area. We are kind of waiting on some heavy equipment to get here to kind of go through that scene and move stuff around. Like I said, there's a lot of building materials that have burned back there. So we're going to need that heavy equipment to help us kind of pick things up and move it and make sure that there isn't any fire deep-seated in those materials. We do have our hazmat crews on scene. They're monitoring just some of the air quality within the buildings adjacent to the fire, just to make sure that none of those chemicals from the styrofoam got into those buildings. They're also protecting our waterways, because very similar to a structure fire, what we're burning is a lot of chemicals right now. So we want to make sure that our waterways are protected and we're not getting any of those into our waterways. We do have about 51 CSFD personnel on scene here. Obviously, you're going to see some of our crews kind of pack up and get back into service so they can serve our city. We wanted to make sure that we could get all hands on deck with this fire because it was pretty significant, and there were no injuries reported.
Any other buildings involved?
No other buildings involved. We did have what we call exposures, so possible buildings that if the fire would have spread, it could have possibly ignited those buildings. Luckily, we were able to stop that fire from spreading to any of the buildings.
Did the winds have any play in this at all? I feel like it got kind of windy once you guys were able to put it out, thank goodness, but was it there during the fire at all?
We didn't see a super significant wind shift during the fire. Obviously, that is something that we're going to be looking at. So we talked to dispatch and we, ask them for a weather report for the next however many hours we may be here, for the next several minutes we may be here. And dispatch is going to be able to relay that information to us. Here's where your wind is heading. Here's, how fast the wind is going. And that's very vital information to us because we can then take our resources and set them up where we need to set them up if the wind does indeed shift.
Was not damaged in any way, or was it just the outside material?
Just the outside material, so no building involvement. our investigators are on scene, and they're going to be working with any witnesses or anything like that to determine that cause.
As far as the air, with all that heavy black smoke, is everything still good for people to not worry about breathing?
Yeah, so kind of what we say is it's very similar. What was burning is very similar to what would burn in a normal structure fire if a house were on fire. And that smoke is toxic. You know, it's toxic to us firefighters if we're in that area, right? So that's why you'll see our firefighters on air. We want to make sure that we can protect their lungs. But if you're in the vicinity, like, you guys are in a very safe space from it. So it's just going to stay there. We put it out. And that smoke really kind of just dissipates into the air.
I had a
Sure.
you mentioned needing a heavy equipment, heavy
Mm-hmm.
material, vehicle. Can you speak more to just the overall containment of this fire? There's like a level or a percentage you can say this is currently contained at.
Sure. So I would say that the bulk of the fire is knocked down. There are still some hot spots going on, kind of within that. So what happens when we have these building materials burn is that they kind of all fall onto each other, and there is a possibility that there could be fire within, you know, kind of at the bottom of that pile. So really, what we want to do is we want to get in there with that heavy equipment, kind of bring some of that material away. It's really just a big pile, and just to see if there's any fire under that could pose any risk. Don't know. Do you know the name of it?
I think it's Beacon.
Is it Beacon? It's this one.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense. So it is. It's just kind of like a storage facility for building materials.
And I'm sorry if you said this already.
Yeah, no
It wasn't
problem.
acres or anything, correct? How big was it?
No, I can't. We don't have a size on acres, just because you know, we kind of use that for our grassland fires, wildland fires. I can. If it is safe, I can go talk to our battalion chief and kind of show you guys the pile, just bring you back there to see what it looks like if it's safe, and then you can maybe get a better idea of size. Good? Cool. Thanks, guys.